Hello, in this tutorial, I'll walk you through setting up a rental product in BTA and taking bookings for them. Quick note before we start, we will be beginning in Shopify today. However, you can also create a product directly within the BTA admin. So the first step is to create your Shopify product. For the purpose of this demo, I'll be using the dress rental product, which has already been created. You will want to include the description section, which provides more information on your rental product. You will want to include the media or images that you want to represent your rental product. And then the next step is to include variants. Variants will include different options such as the size, the color, and the duration as well. You will have the option name. In this case, we have size, and the option values, which are the size 10 and size 12. This is also repeated for the other option names and the option values below. For our demo, we have color as well and the duration. Duration represents the number of days each variant takes. You will set up duration variants if you want to price each date range in a fixed manner. For example, in our demo here, we'll see that the 4-day duration variant will cost 80, whereas the 8-day duration variant will cost 75. When it comes to configuring the settings within BTA, I will walk you through how these prices will be reflected on the storefront for the customer. Another thing to note is you can either set up this price as a preset 80 for exact 40 days, or you can set it up as a preset 80 for each day and it will be multiplied by variant. So you will want to save that. Thirdly, you want to ensure that you've disabled inventory tracking. This is because BTA handles availability through its own capacity settings that I'll walk you through when we'll be configuring the BTA setting for the product. To do that, you want to navigate to each variant, or in the case where you don't have any variants, that setting should be quite easy to access. To demonstrate that, I will use the variant blue, size 10, and for the 4 days duration. And this is where you would disable your inventory tracking. Since it will be a new product, there's chances that this will be enabled. So what you need to do is toggle and save. Then you want to publish your product to the sales channels that you will be selling from and enable your status to active when you're ready to go live. We're done with part 1, which is creating and configuring the product in Shopify. The next step is to look into the BTA configuration settings for the product. To do that, you will click on More Actions and proceed to BookThatApp configuration within the dropdown. This next part is configuring the service. You will want to select the booking type product. The title and the handle is usually pre-populated, but you should feel free to update that. The next setting is capacity. Capacity controls how many of this item can be booked at the same time. So BTA provides you with 3 different capacity bases. You get product, variant, and resource. The tooltip will provide you more information on what capacity does. Feel free to open the help desk article as well to get more info on that. For the purpose of this demonstration, we will be using the variant basis. This assigns capacity on variant level. For example, the size 10, color blue, has a capacity of 10. That means we have 10 dresses in size 10 and color blue. We have 20 dresses in size 10, color pink, etc. Please do not select the duration variant because this usually does not control capacity. Most often than not, this is assigned to the duration section at the bottom. Setting the basis to product level assigns capacity to the product as a whole. It's often useful if you have a pool of identical items where it doesn't matter which specific unit a customer gets. Now, when it comes to resource basis, this is useful when you're tracking individual rental items. This is usually prevalent for rental items such as boats. For example, if you have two boats, if boat one is booked from Monday to Wednesday, BTA should not offer the same boat to any other service or rental. An example for this demo would be, for example, you have a specific dress that can be rented out as part of a bundle, and the bundle has been set up as different separate products, and you want to share that resource or that dress between both the dress rental here and that bundle. Then you would set it up as a resource and assign it to both products. The next setting is duration. This determines the length of the rental period. So BTA provides you two bases for duration. We have both products and the variant, as seen here. How you set this up is dependent on the pricing model you choose earlier. The first setup is the fixed duration. So you want to set the duration basis to variant level, as seen here. Then you will assign each duration to match according to each value you have set up. You can check the variants represent date range if you want these values to span a specific date range. The other setup is for a fixed daily rate. So you want to set up the basis on product level and then set this up to 1 day. This allows your rentals to run 1 day into the other. Option 2 is the fixed daily rate. You want to set the duration basis to product level and enter the value of a full day. Present days. The third option is the daily rate breaks. You want to set up the duration basis to variant and enable the variant to represent date range. You will set up your range from to the range 2 days and set the values for each duration tier. So what this does is BTA will automatically calculate the correct rental period and pricing based on whatever the customer chooses. I will then skip to the next important settings pertaining duration and pricing if you're either using one of the two options, which was either the fixed daily rate or the daily rate breaks. Navigate to settings, then proceed to order processing. You will want to set the date range updates quantity to yes. This ensures that BTA correctly calculates the rental duration when processing orders. If you skip this step, pricing won't calculate correctly, so please ensure you don't miss this. What this does is it ensures that the price is multiplied by the number of days entered. A quick example, if your daily rate is $10 and your customer selects 6 days, that will ensure that the customer is charged $60 for the 6 days. Now, the next setting is the lead or lag times. You can get more information on the tooltip that's available here. This is useful if you need a buffer time between rentals for cleaning and preparation as well. Then you will set up the date range settings, enter your maximum and your minimum rental periods. Then you will choose whether to count days or nights. Night works best for overnight rentals, while counting days is more suitable for full day rentals. Calendar settings. This allows you to set up a booking color for your calendar internally so you can differently easily identify your rental products at a glance. Then you want to save. You will additionally assign any locations if necessary, and we'll proceed to our next step, which is assigning operating hours. These are necessary since your available rental times are driven by operating hours. For the purpose of this demo, I will click on Manage an Operating Hours page. This will redirect us there. You can either add a new season and then assign a specific service. For example, the dress rental here that we were working with. You will then update the dates and times. You will then update the dates and times that this will be running for. You can either set the schedule to closed or 24 hours. I will be closing out Saturdays and I will click on Save. Operating hours is set up. Those are the availability hours for your rental product within BTA, and your customers can book within those hours. Final step internally to configure is widgets. A widget is the calendar that displays on the storefront for your customer to select the dates. To configure the widget, you will go to the widget menu to the left. On the widgets page, you will click on rentals and add a new rental widget. On the services tab, you want to assign it to all your services or the rental products, which is recommended here, or you can assign it to the specific products as needed. You will then also customize the settings to match your store, and you can preview the updates in real time. One important setting here, if you went to the pricing setup that allows your customers to select date ranges, you want to enable allow date range, as this allows the user to select a date range. Finally, the translation section allows you to update the default text within the widget, and you can update those here. You will then finally want to save. Your product should now be configured fully in BTA, and our final step in this tutorial is to add to cart and simulate the customer experience. To do that, we will head over to the storefront, and to see the full customer experience, you will click on the View button. We're now on the products page on the storefront. We can now see the widget within our dress rental service. So the customer will select their size, select the color, and the duration as well. As you can see, the duration is automatically populated to match 8 days. We'll then book now and add to cart. We also have an add-ons functionality where your customers can purchase any company products, and this acts as an upsell service. For the purpose of this demo, I'll just add the pickup bags to cart. We now have our rental and our add-on within the cart, and the customer can now proceed to checkout.